Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey that might fundamentally shift how you view your career and your financial future. We're diving deep into excerpts from MJ DeMarco's, well, quite eye-opening book, The Millionaire Fastlane. Our mission with this deep dive isn't just to summarize it, it's to truly unpack its core idea, how to pursue wealth and freedom. But not through the usual path we've all been taught, more like embracing a very different entrepreneurial approach. This book really throws down a challenge to that common wisdom of slow and steady wins the race for building, serious wealth and getting free early. Okay, let's unpack this.
In DeMarco, he really starts by laying out three distinct financial paths, almost like different roads we can choose to travel. He kicks off with what he calls the sidewalk. Just picture someone maybe living perpetually paycheck to paycheck.
Right, spending more than they earn.
Exactly. Racking up credit card debt, little to no savings. Their financial decisions are often, impulsive, driven by immediate gratification. And they often blame outside factors, the economy, bad luck, always something else. They're basically consumers in their financial life, not producers.
Yeah, I think we can all picture that. And then there's the slow lane. Now, this is the route most of us have been, conditioned to believe is the only sensible way, Go to school, get a stable job, save maybe 10% of your income.
Invest carefully in mutual funds.
Right. And then maybe, if everything goes perfectly, retire around 65. I think many of us have lived this, or are living it now. But what DeMarco points out so clearly is, on this road, you're just directly swapping your time for money. That's the deal. And sure, compound interest is powerful, but it works incredibly slowly. When you're only putting in small bits, you're usually looking at, 40 years? Maybe more, just to get to that finish line way off in the distance, which for a lot of people feels less like a future and more like a never-ending treadmill.
Which brings us neatly to the Fastlane.
No.
This is DeMarco's radical alternative. It's the entrepreneurial path, where you build or own a system, maybe a business, that generates money without needing your direct minute-by-minute time.
That sounds like the dream, but it must feel terrifying for someone used to the slow one.
Oh, absolutely. The shift isn't just what it is, but the huge psychological jump to embrace it. Its real power comes from these key traits. It's scalable, meaning it can grow massively without you having to put in proportionally more personal effort.
Okay.
It's controllable, you're in charge, making the decisions, and crucially, it's need-based. It focuses on solving actual problems for people, for a market. This is the path designed to build wealth much, much faster, sometimes, in years instead of decades. What's fascinating here is how clearly these paths are delineated, making you reflect on where you currently stand.
It really is stark when you see them laid out like that. And what truly separates someone on the fast lane isn't just, what they do. It's what's going on up here. Their mindset. DeMarco says something really powerful. Wealth is not about cars, cash, or bling. It's about freedom.
That changes everything.
It totally reframes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Suddenly the focus shifts from just piling up income to creating genuine value. It's about seeing time, not money, as your most precious resource. And it forces you really to question those traditional paths instead of just, following the herd. It's a pretty profound shift. It asks you to rethink what rich actually means to you. Here's where it gets really interesting.
It absolutely is. And DeMarco, he boils this whole Fastlane philosophy down into a really useful acronym, wealth. It's like a blueprint, not just for money, but for designing that life of real freedom we were just talking about. Let's quickly walk through it. The W is for wealth, but remember, his definition, freedom. Freedom of time, choice, freedom from just worrying about money constantly.
Got it. Freedom first.
Exactly. A is for education, but not just formal degrees. He stresses real-world self-driven learning. Skills you can actually use to build and scale something. A is for assets, specifically building income-producing assets.
Like businesses.
Or IP? Right. Businesses, systems, software, intellectual property like books or courses, anything that brings in revenue without you having to be there trading time for it. L stands for leverage. This is key. Using automation, tech, other people's efforts to multiply your efforts, scaling beyond just yourself.
Makes sense.
T is for time. This really hammers home the idea. Stop selling your time by the hour. Multiply its value through systems that work for you 24/7 potentially. And finally, H is for health. DeMarco is quite firm on this.
You need health to enjoy wealth.
Precisely. Without good health, all the money and freedom in the world is, pretty useless. You can't enjoy the life you build. So this formula, it isn't just about getting rich. It's a holistic approach to building a truly rich and free life. If we connect this to the bigger picture, This formula isn't just about accumulating money, it's a comprehensive blueprint for designing a life of true freedom.
And that formula, it leads right into the core principles of what makes a Fastlane business actually work. DeMarco lays out 5 key commandments, almost like a checklist for any business idea if you wanted to succeed on this path. First, control. You absolutely have to own and control your business.
No being dependent on platforms.
Exactly. You can't be at the mercy of, say, Amazon or YouTube changing their rules overnight and destroying your income. You need to be in the driver's seat. Second, entry. This one feels a bit backward at first. He argues that the harder it is to get into a market,
The better.
less competition, better opportunities. So don't just copy the easy stuff everyone else is doing. Look for those higher barriers. Third, and this is where I think a lot of passion projects go wrong, need. Your business must solve a real problem for a real market.
Needs, not just wants or passions.
Right. As DeMarco puts it, don't chase passions, solve problems that matter to others. Passion is great for fuel, but market need is what actually sustains a business and lets it grow. Fourth, time. The business shouldn't demand your constant minute-by-minute presence. The goal is passive systems, income while you sleep, essentially, reclaiming your time.
The ultimate leverage.
Totally. And fifth, scale. Can your product or service reach millions, or at least a very large audience? Can it grow beyond your town or the hours you personally have? If the business model has a built-in cap on reach, it's probably not a true Fastlane contender. These are the critical questions you have to ask.
And when we talk about how Fastlaners actually make this money, DeMarco points to several money trees. These are the different ways they create that value and get paid, all based on those 5 commandments we just discussed. So this could be product-based businesses, physical goods, sure, but also digital products like ebooks, software.
Things you create once and sell many times.
Exactly. Then there are service-based businesses, but they need to be scalable. Think software as a service, high-level coaching that uses systems, maybe online marketplaces, not trading time for money one-on-one usually. Another big one is content and intellectual property, books, courses, apps, creating valuable IP. And finally, systems. Things like franchises or maybe building those online marketplaces that connect buyers and sellers where you own the platform, the system itself. The common thread really is that they all have the potential to detach income from your direct hourly work. They can grow beyond you.
Yeah, and it's so important to contrast all this with what most of us hear constantly. DeMarco really takes aim at what he calls the slow lane myths. And honestly, for years, I bought into some of these myself, like the common idea. Save diligently, invest for 40 years, and eventually you'll get rich.
The standard advice.
Right. But he points out the very real risks, doesn't he? Inflation chewing away at your savings.
Yeah, or losing your job, a health crisis.
Or a market crash wiping out years of gains.
Yeah.
And maybe worst of all, just wasted decades waiting for this far-off future that might not even turn out how you planned. Then there's the myth that a high-paying job is the ultimate goal.
Security, right.
Supposedly. But the reality is still stark. You are trading your time for money, period. Doesn't matter how high the salary is, your income is capped by the hours you can physically work. There's no real leverage, no scalability.
You hit a ceiling.
Exactly. And finally, this idea that passive index fund investing is inherently safe and enough.
Well, it's generally lower risk.
True, but that usually means lower returns and painfully slow growth.
Yeah.
Which completely clashes with the whole fast lane idea of rapid wealth creation and getting your freedom sooner, not later. It's just playing a different game entirely.
And this raises an important question for you, the listener, doesn't it? Are the financial strategies you've learned, maybe the ones you're following right now, are they truly serving your deepest desires for freedom, for control? Or are they just setting you up for that long, slow, 40-year grind? DeMarco's Fastlane actions are actually very concrete. First, it's about building that business, one that solves a real need that you can automate and scale, that isn't tied directly to your time, and crucially, that you control. It's about becoming a producer, not just a consumer.
Shifting your role entirely.
Right. Second, it's about constantly educating yourself, but not necessarily traditional schooling. It's practical learning, getting smart about marketing, product development, sales, building those systems we talked about, and really understanding money financial intelligence. These aren't just buzzwords, they're the actual skills needed. This raises an important question for you. Are the financial strategies you've been taught truly serving your deepest desires for freedom?
When you step back and look at the big picture, DeMarco keeps emphasizing that the real destination of the Fastlane, it isn't just a pile of cash or big bank account. It's profound freedom.
Mhm.
That includes freedom of time, like truly owning your own schedule, deciding what you do each day. It's about having real control over your life, making your own choices. It's the power to confidently say no to things that don't align with your vision or things you just don't want to do.
That's huge.
It is. And most importantly, maybe, it's the ability to live life purely on your own terms, designed by you, not by some employer's schedule or a financial plan that stretches out for decades. It's about realizing life is short, you know, and your time is incredibly valuable. So what does this all mean for you?
Well, MJ DeMarco leaves us with a pretty potent thought to chew on. The fast lane isn't easy, but it's fast. The slow lane is easy, but it's painfully slow.
Yeah.
So as you reflect on this deep dive we've done, maybe ask yourself this. In your own life, in your financial strategy right now, are you primarily acting as a consumer or are you a producer? What value are you actively creating in the world? And maybe more importantly, how does the path you're currently on really line up with what you truly want in terms of freedom and control, not just hoping for a comfortable retirement way, way down the road?